Hey everyone, have another client interview here in a slightly different background. I'm traveling, so forgive the mess in the background. But I'm here with Richard Jackson, absolutely crushing the medical space right now, the healthcare space, and he's been doing digital marketing for you said about 4 years now, right?
Yeah, 4 5 years.
Yeah, awesome, dude. So, um, give me a quick overview of like what got you kind of thinking about call center mastery in the first place? Kind of, I guess, what was the moment where you were like, I need to fix my call center? Like, give me
Mm,
kind of a bit of background
mm.
on all that.
Yep, yep. I think the main thing was that we would just focus on generating a boatload of leads, and then we realized that unless there was a follow-up system that was well designed, well curated, and well implemented, then the value that could be drawn from those leads for our clients was pretty poor. And
Mm,
so we then decided to essentially test with a particular client. What if we took the calls and the nurture process with the leads? And that was a great success. But we knew, myself and my co-founder, we knew that if we were on the phones, we can only take it so far, right? So then we moved into, okay, well, if we are going to scale this operation, we need to delegate that. Who has done that we can learn from? And we were either going to pay with our time or we were going to pay with our money. And that's where, Facebook and Instagram were clearly listening because they sent me your ad and I saw your ad and I thought this is perfect, right? So did a little bit of research and then I thought this is could not have come at a better time. Someone who's been through building and scaling a huge operation with respect to having people on the phones and knowing how to manage those people, knowing where to find them, how to train them, how to like track and report, like the systems and automation side of things was definitely. We knew that we could potentially build out what we needed, but we knew that it could take us 3 years of like trialing this and then trialing that and then trialing this, and maybe it's the third iteration where we find the good solution, or we could just come to someone like you and say, hey, based on your 5 years experience scaling your operation, what conclusion did you come to? And that was crazy valuable for us.
that is, you said it really well there. Like, this is the thing I tell people is that you can build it out yourself. Like, if you're willing
Mm,
to spend the next like 2, 3 years, like pretty much focusing only on this and like testing all the different stuff and whatever, then yeah, you can definitely build it out yourself. It's not impossible. I'm not some like genius. This I'm the only one that's discovered this. Like, it's not that, right? But like I said, it's paying down the ignorance debt. It's like if you can pay someone some money and like cut that time in by 90%, then it's
mm,
obviously way better, right? It's going to work
100%.
way better for you. So yeah, so you was there a particular moment where like a client complained about like lead quality or like they were what they had
Yeah.
worrying
Yes,
about
actually.
leads
Yeah.
or like
Yep. I vividly remember. I vividly remember an objection coming back from a particular client that the issue was the leads, and we had given them like a rough script to follow when they were contacting these leads, and we just thought we knew that these leads were not poor quality because they'd already gone through. It wasn't like we were just doing a Facebook lead form. They'd gone to a landing page, they'd filled out a survey with multiple questions, so a very high degree of intent. And so we just knew, I mean, we had two options at that point. We were either going to essentially argue with the client and say, you need to work on training your receptionist to be better at handling the leads, or you need to develop like a sales team, or we just bring that in-house.
mm,
And that's really where I think, too, in terms of where the space has been going, more and more places are realizing that, especially with like advertising costs kind of increasing year on year on some of these platforms, unless there's a high yield on the leads, it's going to be like the unit economics won't make sense for the client. And then what that means is that if you can have an in-house team that's just like specialist in a particular niche or a particular type of phone call, then it takes that responsibility off the client having to train their staff to do that. And
yeah.
at the end of the day, like, a business owner, say of a gym or a law firm or, something in the healthcare niche, a lot of them are spectacular at their particular domain. They don't know very much about social media advertising or funnels or like, progression down a pipeline or any of this stuff. So that was a crucial moment for us where we realized, okay, this is a pivot point where we can test taking it in-house, and obviously baking that into our fee as well, and like adjusting our fee. But if we can make that work, it's also a much easier sell for getting clients, because instead of them having to have the advertising, the lead gen, and then also needing to nurture and have a system to nurture, you can just eat up all of that complexity and package it into a single product that you can give them.
Yeah. And it works so well in the sense like it works on so many kind of points because you not only have obviously improved results because you can actually like you follow up with them faster, you just get more appointments, more shows, that kind of stuff. But then what I find is that you obviously get they don't have to do it, they don't have to worry about it. And so it's like
Yeah.
it's more off their plates. They get better results and have to do less. It's like and it
Yeah.
just again it makes your service wastier. How have you found like since implementing the call center and everything, um, how have you found the results? How have you found the right retention, all that kind of stuff?
Oh, so much better. So much better. I think that was just a recurring, because even before I was running my own ship with my co-founder, I worked in an agency a long time ago. It's just the same objection, right? It's just the same objection. It's a bit, the lead quality sucks. It's a bit of he said, she said, and you go back and forth. It's like, well, this is why it's not poor lead quality and why the issue is the lead nurture. And then they'll come back and say, this is why, da da da. And then when you do it like this, you just, again, that entire conversation just gets dissolved. Doesn't matter anymore, right? If you can more, I think it also allows, like, it's easier to then charge based on performance,
Hmm.
because you're optimizing closer to the actual objective of the client, right? Whereas if I optimize for number of leads given to a client, it's like, well, how much is one of those leads worth? It kind of depends again on their conversion rates and whatnot. Whereas if we optimize for, say, a conversion of some sort or a show, say, for example, in the healthcare niche, attending an appointment or something of that effect, you're optimizing closer to the final objective, almost closer to like actual cash in their pocket, and it makes it easier to justify a performance result and or performance based fee. And if you're good at what you do, then oftentimes that can mean, whilst it's lower risk for the client, it can often mean more revenue for you. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
been it's
I
been
love Yeah, it's good. It's good. You guys are being smart about it as well. Like you're doing so much more. Yeah, it's really good, man. It's really good. So when you went through the program, how did you find it? How did you find the content? How did you find the overall kind of experience of it all?
Yeah, really, really spectacular. I think the thing that stood out to me the most was, I really liked how you structured it into different parts, and then that allowed me to find what I needed most quickly. So I did like the intro part, which kind of laid out what the following parts were about. So I think there were
Hmm.
three main things, three main modules or chapters, however you refer to them.
Yeah.
And I knew coming into the course what I was looking for, which in particular, like we already had a hiring pipeline. We already knew how to train up our staff pretty well. So I didn't need that part of the course so much.
Yeah.
But I was really looking for, if you've got, if you're going from a team of two people on the phone and it's you and your mate, how do you go to a team of 10 or 20 or 30 on the phone and effectively have the systems to not only for them to support them, but also to manage them? So knowing what are the conversion rates, and then, being able to monitor, and then have performance one-on-ones where they can see their own numbers objectively and go, okay, like that's where I'm dropping off, but that's where I'm falling short. And then kind of diagnosing from that, what's the training that that particular staff member needs to undergo. So I had no idea how to do any of that before call center mastery. And it was really through going through call center mastery, watching you set up the dashboards. So I also took the approach of, I wanted to go through perhaps a little bit slower and build out the dashboards custom myself. So instead of copying the templates were great, but I personally decided I'd rather build it from the ground up, essentially with you by my side, step by step, because that then allowed me to, it forced me to think. It really forced me to think, okay, well, what are the key metrics that are actually important to me? And then what would I need to print from high level into sheets into Looker? And then how would I want to present that so that the manager on our team can really easily just like click a couple of buttons and see all of the stats of the different team members and then instantly know who does she need to speak with, where are the opportunities for coaching and that sort of thing. So that was I think the way that the course was structured was just chef's kiss. And then the fact that it's not just, hey, here's the template, install the template. It's much more, I'm going to give you the template if you just want to like slam it, start, go. But if you want to understand how the template was built, here's step by step by step how it came to be. And I think that was the most valuable part for me as well, because I don't particularly like sitting and watching or like aggregating, 500 YouTube videos, each with like a
Yeah.
small piece of information that I then need to cobble together and, fumble over creating this and creating that. It was really nice just to watch you go from literally A to Z, building your own dashboard and then being able to essentially copy that and tweak it to what we needed. So, and
Yeah,
then
man.
like that was crazy valuable.
Yeah, it's one of the things where like I get a lot of people that they do think it's a lot of work. They're like, look, I've got to learn this Google Sheet stuff, Google Date Sheet. Like, if you're watching this, by the way, and you're thinking of joining CCM, like, it's not some quick fix. Like, there will be work, just for anyone watching, right? And so, like, a lot of people do complain about that. I say a lot of people, a small number, but when they actually put the effort in, they go through it, and the skills they learn, they're like, wow, this is like, 'cause it's so many other like you can customize things. You can have the like you can do so many things with it. Once you understand them skills, you can do so much with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, like I'm so glad that you see that and like you commit to it because some people like build it out and they're good, but then they don't really open their brain up to other things they could do. But some other people like the smarter entrepreneurs, they go through it and then they start applying it to all over the place, and it's so
Yeah.
transferable across different parts of the agency, which is yeah, dude. I'm so glad that you see it that way.
It's kind of like the teach a man to fish, or what is it? Give a man to
Yes.
fish for a day type of thing, which is almost like here's the template, install, go, or teach a man how to fish and he eats for a lifetime or whatever the saying is. I feel like I
Yes.
know how to fish now because of the course.
Yes. Oh, dude. I love that, man. That's freaking awesome. I love that. And so, um, anyone that's potentially on the fence about joining CCM, maybe I know they're not sure, whatever else, what would you say to them
Mm,
if they're thinking of
mm. I think something that helped me figure out whether I wanted to invest in it was how much would it be worth to me to have all of these like stats and the similar dashboards set up so that we could effectively manage a large scale operation. Like how much would I genuinely be willing to pay for that? And when I realized that that's extremely valuable and there's no getting to the types of numbers that I want to get to without that, I'm like, cool,
Mm.
I'm willing to pay a big sum if I could snap my fingers and that would be done. And then once I had that figure, I just compared it to call center mastering. That's an easy decision, and I was like, boom, let's do it. And
Yeah.
your sales rep, who we were speaking with, he essentially was able to kind of walk us through that thinking as well, and just give us the peace of mind of like, if you go through the course, you're going to have that skill. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, like that was well and truly delivered. So
It's
I have
spot
zero regrets. I think yeah, it was such a good investment on our end. I think it really depends as well on like the operation, the scale of the operation that you want to get to and that you want to build. And there are just some, if you're say you're a one person team, no doubt you're going to be able to learn a boatload. But if you're looking to get to, this stage or this stage, it's like there are new problems that you're going to encounter and you're either going to just fumble through this problem for like a year and then fumble through this next problem for a year, or you just go to someone who's already done it done and dusted. You've already chewed through all the different options and come to a conclusion about the best one. Um, if you have the capital to be able to just streamline that learning, I mean, that's another thing, right? I'm thinking like, how much of my time am I going to have to pay to solve this problem and this problem to get to this stage versus how much would I be willing to pay to just leapfrog right there, right? And again, that's where I was like, my most valuable resource at the moment is time. If someone can chew up all of the complexity of solving these complex problems, having already gone through all the paces themselves, um, that's where for me it just seemed like a no-brainer, and
Yeah.
it's turned out to be exactly that. So really happy with it.
Dude, this is obviously I love hearing stories like this. I'm so glad that that you got the value and it's been obviously
Mm.
most people do, but it's just nice to hear it, over and over, which is amazing. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Richard. I really appreciate you jumping on. Um, if you need anything, I am, man. I'm more than happy to jump on and help you wherever I can.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Cheers, Richard. Thanks, man. Thanks for jumping on.